Hello and welcome to the Redmen TV and another edition of the Extra Time Show, your favourite show, we know that. We start this week with Liverpool being announced as the best fans in the world. It's official, we've known this for a long time, but finally FIFA have recognised us. It was for our match with Borussia Dortmund in the UEFA Cup last season. If you were there at the game, you will know it was absolutely electric. You'll never walk alone. Would have been an absolute pleasure to be there. I'd been to the Manchester United game before that, and that was an intense one. But yeah, I mean, great night for us. And the Liverpool FC Twitter page said, "The Reds winners." So yeah, that was a great night. And the way we're going in the league, hopefully there'll be more European nights to come next season, so that was good. But a touch of class from Borussia Dortmund themselves on their own Twitter feed that said, "Thank you very much. In our opinion, this title should belong to the 96 victims of the Hillsborough disaster. Hashtag JFT, 96 the best." And that's just absolute class. And that's what football does. It brings fans from all over the world together, uniting in the sport that we love. And I just think that's brilliant. It's a show of love. And that's what football's all about. None of this like hooliganism and things like that. Just fans being passionate about the sport. So that was brilliant to see this week. It was the birthday boy, Lucas Leiva's 30th birthday. And we had Jordan Hendo, the captain. He put on Instagram, "Happy birthday to this legend." You got Lucas there dressed up with a cap and long hair and a little hoover or whatever it is. He's in the twilight of his Liverpool career. He's still got a lot of time left in his career. And I was reading today that whether he goes to Inter Milan or not, or whether he does move away, staying at Liverpool to be in the cup competitions is a big factor for him. So he's still got a few years. He might go to Italy. I think he'd do really well there as well. But 10 years of servant at Liverpool, and you know what? He's funny, if not just for saying unlucky. Why not? Yeah, so that was that. Happy birthday to him. Divock Origi, the big Divock, he put on Twitter a painted portrait of himself, and there he is wearing a bloody fishing hat like he's one of the lowy heads. You ever remember Brendan Rodgers on the documentary where he had a painted portrait of himself? A bit of an egomaniac, but you know what, if someone wants to send me a portrait of me on Twitter, do that. I had one guy saying I looked like Dracula the other week, but you know, it is what it is. Yeah, in football in terms, we had former legend, not legend, but you know, he's a comedy cult figure, Titi Kamara. If you ever played this street soccer, what a game, by the way. Titi Kamara posted on Twitter, "Season over for Everton, crying faces, add another year on to 21, that's a whole generation of supporters who've never seen them win a trophy." He stirred people up, you know, and we are still in 3 competitions, just having a bit of banter, and you know, it is fun. And it is a shame for Everton fans, I mean, because I've got friends who are Evertonians, and I love them, and I want them to see what we've seen. We've lifted European Cups, FA Cups. You know, I don't know, it's harsh, but it's still hilarious. On to the game that we played at the weekend. Joe Gomez said, "Not the result we wanted, but we'll bounce back. Meant a lot to be playing at Anfield. Thank you for the great support." And you know what? A lot of young lads were getting stick because we didn't beat them, but fucking hell, the youngest team we've ever put out. It moves me swiftly on to the under-23s, because most of them were playing in that game. Ben Woodburn, I thought, had a brilliant game on the left wing. I think it was Ajaria, was it? Or Ojo, it was, on the right, cutting in. We dominated that game, and these lads are 17, like some of them. Ben Woodburn, 17, and Trent Alexander-Arnold, he's 17. There's people in the pub drinking a pint saying, "Oh, these are shit." These lads can't even legally have a pint. Give them a fucking break. And we're still in it, so... yeah, we're still in all three cups, the league, and the one under 23, Thiago Alori, he has moved on. He's been sold to Reading for, I think, £3.75 million. That's going to be covered in the Daily News in more kind of detail, but he's posted on Instagram saying, "The years go, but nothing changes. I promise to spend more time with my family. The year starting out with brothers." So yeah, you know, we wish him all the best. And if anyone says, "Oh, he's faster than Ronaldo," we get it. We heard that when he signed, and we've heard it every fucking time since his name's been mentioned. But you know, best of luck to him, and in the future. Mamadou Sakho has also been on Twitter. He posted a video of, he was kind of holding the ball off with whoever his trainer man is, and then hitting the punch bag with boxing gloves on, as though you can have a fight whilst you're also playing football. And he said, soon on the pitch. So I don't know if he knows something that we don't, but apparently Liverpool have named their price £20 million, and do Southampton want to come in for that? Because there's Galatasaray and other clubs mentioned. So I'm happy to see these people go, because Brendan Rodgers has put on the likes of Joe Gomez in at centre-back, and hopefully we'll be coaching him through for a role like that. The under-18s, as mentioned, they've had a long break, and their games can't come any sooner, and I think they're playing Everton either this week or next week. So yeah, we'll crack on. Hopefully they're well rested, and you can see that there's people moving on, and the likes of Woodburn and Trent, there's going to come a point where they're no longer the under-23s. We've got to like move them up to the senior squad, whatever that doesn't even make sense. I'll shut up at this point. On to the loanies. We had Ben Morey saying, imagine if Chelsea have to do a report on their loaned out players. It takes fucking half an hour. But yeah, there's a couple of newsy bits for these guys. We had Alan Rodriguez. He's been called up to the Brazilian under-20 squad for the South American Youth Football Championships, which start next week. So hopefully he can do well there. But with regards to him, he went out on loan to Hertha Berlin to hopefully get him a lot of game time so we could get a work permit for Liverpool. He hasn't played enough as it stands. He needs to play 30% of available minutes in the Bundesliga, and currently it's only 24.3%. So hopefully he'll get a lot more game time, and we could see him back at the club next year. As it stands, I don't really think that's going to happen, so it could be a case that he'll be loaned out again next season. And if so, where would you like to see him go? Would you like to see him at a Dutch club where he'd be on the ball a bit more, or a lower team in the German league? Who knows? Let me know, in fact. John Flanagan, we had the Burnley manager, he come out and said, we'll monitor the Flanagan situation, because there's always their angle, meaning Liverpool's. It's not just mine, so there could be a possibility that he's sent back. And with the likes of Trent playing at right back, I'm not sure if there's a place for John Flanagan. So what's his future at Liverpool, if any at all? We've asked that before, but I mean, it's like it's more prevalent now that it's in the January transfer window. Which moves us on nice and swiftly. I'm good at this now, aren't I? Not that good. I'm not getting ahead of my station. Transfer target of the week. We had Nicholas Gates said Manuel Lanzini could be 10 to 20 million, and at 23, and he'd even pay up to £20 million for him. Tony Stark, Iron Man himself, said he's a good player at a shit club, but we don't want another Carroll or Benteke. So we've had a look at Lanzini. We know that the players like Lanzini, they're kind of a dime a dozen. You've got like your Lamellas and Morales, and they're all of that same similar ilk. They're tricky, they play football. We've got a picture of him here, wearing his shades, rocking it. Stats-wise, he's played 52 games over 2 seasons for West Ham, scored 10 goals. So not the best at him, but he's playing that kind of attacking midfield role, and it's not the club for him, the way they play long ball kind of stuff. He's played at River Plate, Fluminense, and Al Jazeera club in the UAE, which he's just making money there. That's all he's doing there. I don't mind that. Anyone who wants to make their own money, he's not for me like one of the exceptional talents in the way that Tevez and Mascherano were. And if we were going to go for any West Ham player, why not Dimitri Payet? Everyone goes, oh, is he going to PSG? Is he going to Arsenal? Why not us? Why not? So let me know. We covered Quincy Promes last week, about a month ago, and we've covered Draxler and things like that. So I'd be looking at Payet over Lanzini. He'd have to do it more consistently for me, personally. But let me know if there's anyone else you're thinking in the Premier League we should take a look at. So comments of the week. I asked, where would Alberto Moreno be in his next 100 games at Liverpool? And we had some quite funny answers. We had Sir Klopp saying, Moreno's next 100 games at Liverpool. Error 404, future at Liverpool, not found. That's internet bants there for you. Jay Smith also said, Moreno's next 100 games will hopefully be at home on Pro Evolution Soccer Master League. Back in the Master League days, Castolo up front, Eddington left back, if you know your stuff. Danny Galen said, someone should tell this Lewis kid that beards are for men, not for boys. This is from a guy who's got a girl's name. That's okay. Sam J said, I don't like this guy. He reminds me of Dexter Morgan from Dexter, in case you thought Dexter Morgan was from Dexter's Lab or something like that. And Didi needs not watch out for me. Rojo Boxador said, just make Insult Lewis weekly videos, cut the waffle and stop wasting our precious viewing time. Fair enough. I have got something special for the comment of the week coming next week, so be sure to tune in for that, which will be quite good. And for questions to get involved with in this week's show, our youngest squad ever we put out, and with Lucas Leiva leaving, a bit of alliteration, not like we've done that before. Do we need more older figures at Liverpool? Who would you look to bring in, if any at all? What are your best Lucas Leiva memories? For me, it's when we were absolutely smashing Everton, 40 pass move, and Lucas Leiva takes a shot, and Jurgen Klopp is laughing his head off. That was my one. And yeah, what should we do with this £40 million war chest in January, if anything at all? So do let me know. Please like, please share, please subscribe, get involved in the comments, and take it easy.